Welcome back, friends. My name's Tiffany Dawn, and we're doing another episode of life advice that you do not hear in church. So excited. Hit subscribe to see more videos like this. Today, we are talking about the fear of lifelong singleness. This is a question I get all the time from you guys. What do? I'm scared I'm going to end up single forever, and I really don't want to be. I want to be in a relationship. I want to be married. What do I do with this fear? And I think we're told a lot of really toxic messages in some church circles about this. Like, well, you shouldn't be afraid because it means you don't trust God enough, or it's not surrendering the desire if you're afraid of the future in this way. And it just makes me want to cringe. I remember hearing those when I was single. And if you know my story, you know that I really wanted to be married by around 20, which is really young, but a lot of my friends got married super young. And I didn't get married until right before I turned 29. And during my single 20s, a lot of those years, like I didn't have a boyfriend or anything. I was just like, there are no prospects in sight. Like, will I ever get married? And hearing messages like, well, you shouldn't be afraid. Well, you just got to trust God more. Oh, you just got to surrender more. This is a sign that you're not content and you're not going to get married until you get to content, blah, 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 was just so damaging. I was constantly second guessing myself, and it made it so I couldn't be just kind of finding my peace in that season. So if I could go back and tell myself three things, these are the three things that I would tell myself, and I hope they can encourage you guys. The first one is this. Accept the feelings. Just to feel the feelings. It is okay if you feel afraid. It is okay to feel afraid of the future. It's okay to have what you feel change by the day, because here's the thing, like, we don't know what the future holds. It is not guaranteed to have a certain age when we get married or a certain ending to our story. Like, it's not guaranteed. And so we're living in that tension. When you have a dream that you really want or something you really want in life and it's not here yet, you don't see how it's going to happen, there's a tension you live in, and that's not wrong. And it doesn't mean you don't trust God, and it doesn't mean you haven't surrendered. It's just life. It's part of being human. And so accept those feelings and let yourself feel them and recognize they're not good or bad. It's just normal. The second thing I would tell myself is don't forget that you have agency. I felt so powerless. Like I was waiting on this mysterious moment to meet my someone, and I just was kind of stuck passively waiting until then. Like I had no control over it. And I wish I could tell myself, like, Tiffany, you have agency. God has given you free will. He's given you the ability to make decisions, to go after things you want. And there is nothing wrong with that. There's, again, this toxic messaging in church, like women have to just wait for something to happen to them. And that's so not true. It's not even biblical. I mean, just for example, look at Ruth. Okay. That's all that needs to be said there. So if you want to do online dating, do online dating. If you want to ask friends, hey, do you know anyone you could set me up with who you could introduce me to? Ask your friends. And if you meet someone who you're like, he seems like a great guy, but I don't think there's any chemistry, go on a date anyway. Just see what it's like. I know with James, like I didn't think there was any chemistry the first time we hung out, which was in a group. And my goodness, am I glad that I gave him another chance, and he gave me another chance. It was actually a few months later, story for another time, but we had so much chemistry, and we never would have known if we hadn't like given it another chance. Sometimes when you first hang out with somebody, you just don't know what they're going through. He had just gone through a breakup, and I was thinking about 100 other things in my head, like how I had just gotten the worst haircut of my life, and it was throwing me off my game. Anyway, you have agency. And the third and final thing I wish I could tell myself was to just practice gratitude, but not in the mindset of comparing this season to the next season. It's almost like we have to belittle marriage to feel better about singleness, or like, well, at least I can go travel and do all this fun stuff because I'm not married yet. My married friends would tell me that all the time. You're so lucky, the things you get to do right now. And it's just not helpful to think of it that way. When you're comparing one season to another, to practice gratitude, it's not helpful. So instead, just find the things that you're grateful for right here, right now in this season. And it could be like, I love my apartment. It could be like, I love my friends. It could be like, I love this tea that I drink at night, whatever it is. It just find little things that you can practice gratitude for in this season. And as you practice gratitude, that helps you find Do you hear that singing in the background? That is my husband singing silly songs to our baby upstairs. You're welcome for getting to hear that. But practicing gratitude in that season without comparison just helps you find the sense of peace and self-love right where you are. So those are my pieces of advice. I don't have a ways to fix feeling afraid because honestly, it's just human. There's a tension you're living in right now because you don't know what the future holds and you know what you long for. And it's okay to live in that tension. So what other advice would you add to this list? Leave it in the comments. I can't wait to hear it. Love you ladies and brave gentlemen, and I'll see you next week. Bye.